Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. As you can hear, my voice is back, but it's not completely back. It still goes in and out, so I apologize in advance for that and for any potential background noise because I don't exactly have like a decent microphone just yet so that I can try blocking out any unwanted noise. Anyway, I wanted to do an anime review on the anime Super Lovers. It's really adorable, and I didn't think I'd like it until I actually saw the full first episode. So far, there are only like 9 episodes out, and every episode just makes me. I can't say make me wish I had a younger sibling like that, but it does make me wish I had a younger sibling like Ren. When you first meet him, he's a quiet, antisocial kid who just loves being around the wolves he was raised with or raised around or whatever. Um, and like when you first meet Haru, you think he's a gorgeous guy, but almost doesn't look like a big brother figure, but more like a father figure, which is like the intention I got off of him. But then, like that whole mood changed. Their first meeting was pretty hilarious because Haru was trying to be nice and introduce himself to Ren, thinking Ren was like, this normal, typically quiet child. But then Ren just came out of nowhere and bit him. So my impression was that Ren was not exactly, you know, fully a person yet. Yes, he was still a kid, so he's impressionable. But the fact that he was raised around wolves just makes you like wonder what his past was like, that he simply just took on whatever happened around him. Like they mentioned a little bit of his past, like when Haruko first adopted him. Like he had this, like she said, he had like cigarette burns all over his feet, but they don't delve into anything more than that. So that makes you curious about what might have happened in his past to make him become the way he was when Haru first met him. As the episodes progress, you get to see like different sides to all the characters. Like the first episode, you see Haru as this guy who's trying to learn a little more about this little kid who just suddenly entered his life and threw him for a loop. And as time goes on, they get to become a little closer. And then Haru goes back to Japan, where sadly, the day he got back, he also was in an accident and ended up losing his parents. And then there's a little bit of a time skip, and it turns out that Ren came to Japan, but Haru, because of the accident, has no recollection of him or the promise that they made to each other. But then as time goes on, he gets his memories back a little better, and he tries to keep it a secret that Ren is living with him and that his late parents adopted Ren. But comically, Haru's two other brothers find out about it, and they're a little reluctant. Well, one is a little reluctant at first to accept it, but soon things get better, and they all live together as one family. Ren gets put into school, but because of the fact that he was raised in the Canadian mountains and hadn't exactly had a real schooling experience, he's not exactly like in tune with everything. Like the way he acts, people say that he's not exactly cute because he doesn't address authority figures like you normally should. Like instead of saying yes ma'am and no ma'am or whatever, he just addresses them how he normally addresses people. But that's because he grew up in a different, cultural background. Um, Haru teaches him as much as he can, and like with the latest episode that came out last night, which was super adorable and almost a little scary because Ren suddenly got like 2 nosebleeds. I almost started panicking because I had a random nosebleed once as a kid. I think it was like a little younger than Ren's age. But like I just had a random nosebleed in class and everyone started freaking out. But then like the teacher was like, oh, you probably just had a cold and like it's starting to break or whatever, so your nose is simply bleeding to reflect that. It'll stop eventually. Just keep your head back and stick a tissue up your nose and you'll be fine. So like, of course, Ren's friend, whose name I seriously need to remember, like panicked and got into the nurse's office. So that's like a typical reaction you would get from anyone. What was actually adorable to me for this episode was the fact that we got to see a little bit more, as usual, a little bit more of how Haru is pretty much clueless about how he truly is and like what he should and should not do with people around or like to Ren in general. But this was actually pretty adorable to me because Ren started going through typical guy. Oh my god, how can I say this? Ren started just simply going through typical male physical responses to things. The only thing that shocked him was he thought there was something wrong with him because he only felt that way about Haru, which was natural because they were so in love with each other, but they don't exactly say it that often. From them, with each episode, all you get is the typical misunderstandings, the small arguments, and then the moments where they start to make up, and like maybe 1 or 2 kisses per episode, but that's just about it. So for this episode, I went a little further, but you know, not full out explicitly because this is basically like a soft yaoi show. But with all that's happened, I recently looked up the manga and started reading it. So watching the episodes, I'm basically spoiling like what's going to happen, but I don't think the anime is completely following the manga, so I don't think everything is being quite spoiled for me. But yeah, I can't wait for next week's episode. I literally count down the days to each episode. And yeah, I hope you guys like this anime review. I'm sorry for my constant like yeah, doing that constantly. I tend to not really know what to say because I get nervous pretty easily. Anyway, I hope you like this anime review. Hit like and subscribe and leave your comments below, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Yeah, so yeah, Luna out.